jolly good.
You know what I need right now? A minion. You know, those yellow pills that love bananas. I need one right now because work's not going too well, and I think a minion could benefit. Could be very, beneficial, maybe. Although they do like bananas too much, so I wouldn't count on it. Actually, why am I asking for a minion? I need employees. Where am I going with this? Anyways, hello boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Clayton Zoka. Welcome to another My Thoughts On. And today I'm going to be talking about the one and only Despicable Me, the 2010 film from Illumination, which is actually their first feature film. And, excuse me, burped a little. Today is actually the 10th UK anniversary, because I do remember when the film came out in October. I do not know why, because it came out in July in the United States, but I do remember seeing it when I was like 11 when it came out. And obviously we all know Despicable Me as being one of the biggest animated films, not just of the decade or of that year, but in history. It's up there with Toy Story, Shrek, freaking like Hotel Transylvania. Ice Age is one of the biggest animated franchises. Oh, and Lego Movie 2 as being one of the most recognizable animated franchises out there. And how can you not like Despicable Me? It's kind of like Disney's equivalent of Frozen, a film that's just, you just see it everywhere and you can't escape from it. And like Frozen, it has merchandising, and unlike Frozen, I guess, it has memes with the minions. And this film also has songs from Pharrell Williams. Yeah. So yeah, today is the 10th anniversary, and I thought, let's talk about this big smash hit animated film. It's been a long time since I've watched it, so let's see what we can talk about. Obviously we know what the story is about, but just for the sake of fun, let's just get into it. So, this villain named Gru, voiced by Steve Carell, is now the second, or was the best villain in the world. He got outranked by excuse me, a villain named Vector, voiced by Jason Segel. He stole a pyramid, and now Gru wants to be on top again by stealing, what else? The moon, with the help of Dr. Nefario, voiced by Russell Brand. You heard me. However, his life gets a little bit complicated because he had these three girls, Margot, Edith, and Agnes, who just kind of step in, and now he has to kind of look after them because they were orphans. However, he actually needed them to steal the shrink ray in order to shrink the moon, so then he can make his mum, voiced by Julie Andrews, proud again. Oh, and there's minions too, and he does go to the bank to try and build a rocket and all that. So it sounds simple. It's just a villain trying to do his best, but you know these stories. He's going to have a change of heart, and he's actually going to do something right for once. And and the concept of the main character being a villain, and this is the story about how the villain went from big bad to big dad. Get it? Because he's like a foster dad to the girls. The idea is absolutely unique, and I've never seen really a film with the main character being the villain. Which is weird because Megamind came out within the same year, and I think it came out a month after. You could argue it's like the whole Ants Bugs Life business. However, unlike Megamind, which I did really enjoy, Despicable Me had this very unique concept that actually worked. And the ideas that it presented, like what if you can make a film with the main villain that's actually a protagonist? and he has to try to adapt to actually loving these girls and having girls around and having some comic reliefs who are actually really funny. The story is very simple and it's very well executed at times. The humour, well, I will admit some parts can be a little bit been there, done that. It is still funny and still got some great visual gags here and there. And when the film does get emotional and heartfelt, it not only does it feel earned, but it actually works, and you do care about Gru and what he wants, and you do care about the girls too, even though Gru acts like just a very stubborn villain who just wants the girls just to steal something from him. But obviously, as the film would go on, it's actually more than that. So this is something we've seen before, but the film takes it in such a unique and funny and just entertaining, but also very touching way. And there are lots of battle scenes with Gru and Vector that are quite fun as well. Yeah, that's all I can think of really. There's nothing bad about it. It's predictable, and it can get a bit tiresome with the humour, more like I've been there, done that, but it's strong, funny, entertaining, it's well executed, the concept is genius. Oh, and the stuff with the minions is great. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, oh, you're not annoyed by them. Not yet. I'm a little bit ticked off by them, but not yet. But in this film, I'm like, no, I like them. And at least in the first film, I still like them. So yeah, for a film about a supervillain trying to steal a moon and trying to adopt 3 girls in order to help him steal the moon, and then ending up as the dad, the story does the best it can with 2 elements that you think wouldn't work, but in a way it actually did find a way. Animation. Okay, this is the first film from Illumination. It's no Pixar, it's no How to Train Your Dragon, coincidentally, because this came out in the same year as that film. Okay, it's not... Sorry about that, someone was rudely interrupting me. But anyways, the animation is no Pixar, it's no DreamWorks, but from 2010, it looks good. Not great, but good. I do like the character designs. I do like how outstanding Gru looks. I can kind of tell he's got a little bit of inspiration from the Penguin because of his facial structure and obviously his nose. Actually, all the villains, even though there's only like 2, obviously, because there's Gru and Vector, they look great. And I love the way Gru is built as this like big and sinister and sly villain, and he has the look of one too. Vector looks like this very nauseous and very energetic villain who's annoying from a visual look, I suppose. The minions are just the minions. They're not very outstanding in terms of design, but it's the minions. You can tell who they are. You can tell most of them by how they look, I suppose. You know, one's got 1 eye, one's tall, one's small, one's bald, one's got 2 eyes. Minion stuff, they all look the same, but they're pretty cute in design. The girls look good. They look good for their characters. Dr. Nefario looks pretty hilarious in his design, really, and like characters like Mr. Perkins, Fred, and Gru's mum. They all have this very outlandish, cartoony design that fits in what the character's supposed to be. It's a bit stereotypical, I know, but it does work. The textures don't look particularly great or anything, but I will give them a pass because it is their first film, and again, it looks good. Everything they presented is good, like the guns, the weapons are creative, the action scenes are cool, the spy and villainy stuff is really well done, so you can tell the animators had fun with it, but it wasn't quite... It's not quite as realistic looking as Pixar, but it does still look good, and dated, a touch dated, but it looks good. It doesn't look unpleasant at all, it just looks good. Despite how dated and a little bit weird the animation can be, it can still make a very good villain out of Gru. I mean, out of Gru, and just a nice looking film in general for a first film. So yeah, it's good. Characters and acting. Gru is the lovable villain, hero slash spy we know. In this film, he's just the villain. However, he's actually a funny, relatable, well-defined villain, and he's actually kind of well developed. Really, he just wants to steal the moon so he can make his mum proud, but while also being a villain. However, he does start to grow a heart when he meets the girls, which makes him actually funny, likeable, and kind of sweet. The scene where he reads the girls the bedtime story, The Three Little Kittens, is probably my favourite scene, and it really shows that the thing that makes this film work is that Illumination shows that they cared. I mean, it's debatable whether they do with the other films, since most of their films are just kind of the same. Even though a lot of them are good, they're just not. They don't stand out. But with this, it's like at least they showed that they cared about it. And with Gru and the heart of the film as well, it really works. I really, really, really enjoyed him. He's very sweet, evil, and funny. The three girls, Margot, Edith, and Agnes, they're all likeable. Margot is the oldest and the sensible one. Edith is like the one kid who's like troublesome and doesn't really want to be told what to do. And Agnes is the cute little girl. Usually I'm annoyed by that, but she was funny, sweet, and just lovable. They're all three of them are great. Dr. Nefario is a great supporting character. He does play a role in the whole Gru is getting his head a little too attached to the girls, and he's losing focus of what's going to make him the big villain. And he's just telling him, ditch the girls, let's steal the moon. And he's not trying to be evil, even though he is a villain too. He's more like Gru's friend and assistant. But he's just telling him that they have to steal the moon. And he's great fun, and he's actually really funny. His mum, Gru's mum, is quite funny, and she plays kind of a key role here. Mr. Perkins is a pretty funny villain. However, the only character in the film who I did enjoy, but he was a bit annoying, was Vector. I mean, as a villain, he's not great. He's good. He does have some funny lines, and you can get a laugh every now and then, but it's like he's too annoying. Compared to El Macho and Balthazar Brat and even Scarlet Overkill, he's easily the weakest Despicable Me villain. Not bad, just good. I'm trying to think. Oh, the Minions. They're freaking Minions. They're just funny and hilarious as always. I mean, in that case, it will be rather debatable. That part will be debatable in the other films, but here, they don't really steal the spotlight, they're just kind of supporting characters, and the scenes with them actually don't drag on, it's just well timed enough. The voice acting for the film is fantastic. Steve Carell is a very obvious choice, but I'm glad he doesn't go with the same accent that he uses. Obviously he's American. He goes for a Russian European accent, I suppose, for Gru, which is quite funny, and it does make him stand out literally. Russell Brand, who's Dr. Nefario, he's instantly unrecognizable in his role, and I'm not the biggest Russell Brand fan. He was in Trolls also, which I thought he was a bit annoying. Hop, which is also by Illumination, he was annoying. In here, he's actually pretty funny. I'm not gonna lie, he's really, really funny, and it really does not sound like him, which is weird. Jason Segel, while his character is a bit annoying, his voice performance is pretty funny. I'll give him that. Judy Andrews, who is the voice of Gru's mum, she's really good also. Also other actors, you've got Will Arnett, who you may know as Lego Batman, and BoJack Horseman, he's Mr. Perkins, who's pretty funny. And even Christian Wiig, who you know as Lucy in in 2 onwards, she's the voice of Miss Hattie, who's she's an okay character, but her voice performance is kind of unrecognisable, if not a little bit, I don't know, weird. And also, oh my god, I forgot, there's like other recognisable actors, voice actors too. Jermaine Clement from Rio, and like lots of stuff. He's in this, voicing a minion. Jack McBrayer, who you may know as Fix-It Felix from Wreck-It Ralph, is in this. Danny McBride. Minding Kaling from Inside Out's in here. Ken Jeong also. God, I forgot how many times like animated films would use like celebrities in small roles and cameos. It's crazy. So the characters are all villainous, but good villainous. They're all funny, memorable. Gru is a very well fleshed out character, and the voice acting's very good. So yeah, they may be villains, but they're well executed villains. Eh? What can I say? Knowing by how huge this film is, and how much it grew in popularity, and the sequels, and the songs, the merchandise, it's still the best film, not only from the franchise but from Illumination. Despicable Me is still a pretty solid family film. It is rather problematic with its slightly cringy humour, annoying villain, and slightly dated animation, but since the concept's unique, the story's well told, the animation is legit good for a first film, the characters are all funny and memorable, it has good heart, it's creative, it's fun, the voice acting's good. It's a really great film, and I can see why people don't like it because of the minions and all that, and they are everywhere. And this film and the minions are overrated, in all honesty, but this is like good overrated. I will take this film over Trolls, which is similar, because again, Russell Brand's in that, and that film's just annoying eye candy kid film stuff. I swear a lot of these films are just kind of going on the bandwagon of what Despicable Me did. Just do something that will make kids watch it, sell merchandise, and sequel. However, unlike Trolls, Despicable Me, and I will say 2 and 3 did it well. Minions was good, but then after watching it from last year, for my thoughts on it, it's like, it's okay. So not an amazing film, but still the best that Illumination has to offer. What did I give it? Excuse me 1 minute. I need to look at the score because I legit forgot. I know it's a 9, but I don't know if should I change it or what's the 9.8. Yeah, I'll go with that. 9.8 out of 10. Again, not amazing, but still a great animated classic that left a huge impact in the world. So yeah, Despicable Me, 10th anniversary. Wow. I still remember when this film came out and the advertisements for it. It was pretty huge. And I am a fan of the series, despite how just kind of meh the Minions movie is. Minions Rise of Gru I'm having doubts over, but I am a fan. I do really enjoy the films, and I even have a Minions like plushie on my shelf. And I know what you're thinking, oh really, you got a plushie? They had it at View Cinemas when the third film came out, and I just wanted to buy it, because why not? So yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do next, so you're just going to have to wait on that. So, what do you think of Despicable Me? Do you like it? Is it the best Illumination film, the best out of the series? And what do you think of the other films as well? Do you think they're good, bad, decent? Do you want to see them? Let me know below. And as always, thank you guys for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe. And until next time, I need to eat a fucking banana. Hopefully those minions won't come and just stare at it and drool over it like it's a big old Actually, I should not finish that bloody sentence. Because I swear to God that sounds so wrong on so many levels.